What's wrong with your eyes? What do you mean? Why does one lid close more than the other? I've never told this story. You ready for this? You ready for this? Here you go. I've always known that if I told this story, every single person who ever said a thing about my eyelid would feel like such an asshole. You ready for this? One of my eyelids is a little bit weird because when I was 5 years old, I got a hold of a pen and I was coloring and I was drawing with a pen and I flipped it around and unintentionally I put it into my eyelid and I lanced it open. I had to go to the hospital. I had to get a bunch of stitches on my eyelid. I went inside and I remember looking at my dad and he said blood was coming down my face. Blood is coming down my face. I remember the ghost look in his face when I went inside, just completely oblivious to it. And he looks at me, he's like, and he just snatched me up. Anyway, it didn't go through to my eyeball, thankfully, but I just like fucked the skin up. So after they sewed it, I always noticed that one of my eyelids was weird. That's all. And then actually, this eyelid is fucked up from got eczema.
I think of getting circumcised or something similar. Thoughts or helpful tips?
You're really going to send me a donation about getting circumcised and ask for a helpful tip?
Yeah.
A helpful tip. You should lance your other eyelid to even it out. I've tried about it. What's funny is me and my mom like bringing up that story, and my dad always gets on the verge of vomiting every time we bring it up. My mom will be like, remember when Noel cut his eyelid open? My dad will go like, don't. Stop. I don't want to think about it. Enough. No. This person asking me about getting circumcised is, I don't know if that's just like a joke about having seen us on the road, because I tell a very detailed story about getting circumcised. I told all of America about how I got circumcised at 13 for a year straight. I even told people in Australia, and I told people in New Zealand, and I told people in Europe. I can't tell you. People paid money to see that story live, and I have to keep it that way. You just got to go to a TMG show, or if we ever put that show on some type of shareable media, you'll have to catch the story then. Oh, Shannon, you don't remember the story? Everyone who's seen TMG on tour, let me just fire up your PTSD right here. Ready? 3, 2, 1. I watched this documentary called The American Circumcision. I know, and I'll tell you why that documentary speaks to me specifically. That's all I'm going to say. As someone who got a late circumcision, let me tell you, that documentary was hysterical and sad in many ways. The foreskin is the male clitoris, man. America takes away a man's clitoris at birth. They rob him of his femininity right at birth. They take it away from him. They take away that ability for him to go, oh. Yeah, the foreskin got hella nerves in it, man. Hella nerves in it. That's why men act the way they do, because they don't have their clitoris anymore. It's the male clitoral hood, actually. You're right, Mike. You're right. But it's got nerve endings in it. So which is it? Did you miss a week of school for your dick? Bro, I got that shit in the summer like a G. Went to hang out with some girl at the movie theater, and I had my hand in my pocket, providing extra space because I was walking around with stitches, bro. I could talk about that experience for hours, man. It was grim. There were so many parts that no 13-year-old should be subjected to. And the crazy part about my parents was like, I went in, I did it, and then they just never talked to me afterward. I was just going through the motions, and the most they would do was like, you all right? Good. Take care of that. You ever been 13 and your dick looking like a barbed wire fence and you gotta handle it yourself? Foreskin regrowth. Let's talk about that. That's a tag I removed from the bit for the show. In that documentary, it shows a bunch of old white guys talking about how to restore their foreskin, which told me that old white men can really restore any old antique. Antique car, antique dresser, antique penis. I mean, these people, they find a way to make it like new again. Oh, man. Could you imagine an old white guy at the Antique Roadshow? Old white guy at the Antique Roadshow.
Happy 11 months now.
All right.
Just curious, no homer, but didn't hurt to wake up with a boner at 13 with stitches.
All right, Michael, what do you have for us today? Well, you'll be surprised. This is a zip World War II era penis with the foreskin completely restored. Oh my goodness! Wow, that is something. You know, they don't tell you, you know, your dick comes out of that looking like a gang member. Shit has a scar. It's got a bad fade. It's got like shapes in the lineup. You pull that shit out and girls are like, oh my God. I didn't know you were bringing a friend. I thought this was a one-on-one thing. Penis looking like it just steals shit out of your purse. You know what's crazy? And this is the motherfucking honest truth. You go in there and you go, hey, bruh. So what do I do about the, what do I do about removing, this barbed wire fence, you know, from and the doctors just look at you and they go, oh yeah, those, they should just fall out. But, if they don't, you just pull it out. I'm 13, yanking my shit like a Beyblade. Go! 3, 2, 1, let it rip. Yeah, some of the stitching, I had to remove the stitch needle myself. It's fucking horrifying. It's an archaic practice. There's no need for it. Some people have to do it. Some people have to do it. That much I know. Some people, it actually genuinely becomes a problem, but, you know, not everyone needs to do it.